Before we begin tonight's journey into the shadows of history, if you enjoy calm, cinematic stories that bring the past to life, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us uncover more hidden stories from the world of war. In that jungle, far from home, a young Japanese officer adjusts the strap of his rifle. His name is Hiroo Onoda. Imperial Army intelligence, trained to survive behind enemy lines, trained never to surrender. It is December 1944. The Empire of Japan is crumbling. American forces close in from every side. The Pacific burns, and defeat seems inevitable. But Onoda doesn't believe in defeat, only in orders. Inside a dim command hut, his superior speaks softly, his tone calm but absolute. "You will go to the island of Lubang," he says. "You will destroy the enemy's airfield. You will disrupt their operations. You will not die by your own hand. You will not surrender. You will continue your mission until we return." Onoda salutes. He doesn't question, doesn't hesitate. For him, obedience is not just duty, it is honor. Days later, he and a small unit arrive on Lubang Island, a lush green world of rain, mist, and endless forest. They begin their mission immediately, but chaos soon follows. American troops land in overwhelming numbers, and Japan's resistance collapses around them. Communication is cut. The radio goes silent. And then, the war ends. But Onoda never hears that message. No one comes for him. So he and his men vanish into the jungle. They move like shadows, setting traps, hiding by streams, still believing reinforcements will arrive. Weeks turn to months. The gunfire fades. The world beyond moves on, but Onoda and his soldiers remain frozen in time, holding a war that no longer exists. Then, one humid morning, a piece of paper flutters down from the sky. A leaflet, written in Japanese. It says, "The war is over. Japan has surrendered. They are ordered to come out peacefully." Onoda studies it in silence. The others look to him for guidance. He shakes his head slowly.
"Enemy trickery," he says. "They want us to surrender. The Empire will return." He folds the paper neatly, tucks it into his pack, and walks deeper into the jungle. The rain begins again. The birds return to their songs. And somewhere in the distance, the world continues without him. Because for Hiroo Onoda, the war has not ended. It has only changed shape.
The jungle war that never ended. Dawn breaks over the island of Lubang. Mist clings to the palms, and the first cries of tropical birds echo across the hills. In the shadows beneath the trees, 4 silhouettes move silently, rifles in hand, uniforms soaked with rain. They are not ghosts, not yet. They are soldiers of an empire that no longer exists. Hiroo Onoda leads them with quiet precision. Every step is measured, every whisper calculated. They still believe the Japanese army will return, that any day the rising sun flag will appear on the horizon. Weeks pass, then months, then years. Food grows scarce. They hunt wild pigs, steal rice from nearby farms, patch uniforms with leaves and bark. The war becomes less about victory and more about survival. At night, they light no fires. Smoke could betray them. Instead, they whisper memories of home,
of Tokyo streets, of mothers waiting by the shore. The jungle answers with the sound of rain. Sometimes distant gunfire echoes from the coast, or so they think. Onoda marks it in his notebook. Enemy still active, continue operations. They launch small raids, burning crops and seizing supplies from local villagers, convinced they are hurting the Allied forces. Each raid feels like proof the Empire still breathes. Each success gives them strength to endure another month. But the island is changing. Peaceful farmers return. Children play again near rivers once filled with bodies. And every time Onoda's men strike, the locals grow fearful. They call them mountain devils, soldiers who refuse to die. In 1949, one of his men, tired of the endless hiding, slips away in the night. He leaves a note, "I'm going to look for Japan." Onoda finds it at dawn and says nothing. To him, desertion is worse than death. Years drift by like the slow crawl of vines. Seasons blur. Rain, sun, wind, repeat. And yet, Onoda still polishes his rifle each morning, still patrols the perimeter, still believes that duty is eternal. The world outside has rebuilt itself, cities shining with neon lights, children watching the first televisions. But in the heart of Lubang, the war continues, sealed in green silence. For Hiroo Onoda, there is no peace, there is only the mission. And as the jungle grows thicker around him, the border between duty and delusion begins to fade.
The leaflets and the lies. The jungle doesn't tell time. Days melt into years. Rain, sun, wind, repeat. For Hiroo Onoda, the war still rages. He patrols the trees, keeps his rifle clean, and waits for orders that will never come. Then, one day, papers fall from the sky. Leaflets, written in Japanese. The war ended in 1945. Japan has surrendered. Onoda studies them, heart pounding. Could it be true? No, it must be a trick. If Japan had surrendered, he whispers, my commander would have told me. He hides the leaflet and continues his mission. To him, peace is the enemy's lie. As years pass, villagers whisper of ghost soldiers in the jungle, men who still fight for an empire that no longer exists. And Onoda, he becomes a shadow, a soldier trapped in time, guarding a war that ended long ago. Alone in the shadows, years turn to decades. The jungle becomes his only friend and his prison. Rain keeps his uniform clean. Fire keeps his courage alive. Every sound, every shadow could be the enemy. He hunts for food, steals from nearby farms, and vanishes before dawn. To the villagers, he's no longer human. He's a ghost with a rifle. Onoda still believes Japan will return for him. Every sunrise, he whispers the same words, I will not surrender. The world outside forgets his name. But deep in Lubang's jungle, one man still fights a war that ended long ago. The man who found him. It is 1974, almost 30 years after the war ended. The jungle is older, wilder, and filled with silence. A young Japanese explorer, Norio Suzuki, steps carefully through the undergrowth. He has heard rumors of a soldier who refuses to surrender, a man still living in the shadows. Days turn to nights, but he doesn't give up. Then, deep in the misty trees, he sees a figure, a man in tattered uniform, holding a rifle, eyes sharp and unreadable. Are you Lieutenant Onoda? Suzuki asks. The soldier studies him silently. Finally, he nods, not out of surrender, but curiosity. Suzuki promises he will bring the man's commanding officer, the only person who can truly release him from duty. For the first time in decades, Onoda listens. For the first time, he considers that maybe the war might really be over. The jungle watches quietly, holding its breath. The final surrender. Weeks later, the jungle falls silent again. A man arrives, Major Yoshimi Taniguchi, Onoda's old commander. His hair is gray now, his hands shaking. He calls out softly, "Lieutenant Onoda, it's time to come home." Onoda steps forward, uniform torn, rifle still shining. He salutes. Then, trembling, he says, "Sir, I am still waiting for your orders." Taniguchi opens a letter. It's the official command, signed, sealed, real. It orders Onoda to lay down his arms. The jungle wind stirs. For the first time in 29 years, Onoda lowers his rifle. His war is finally over. He returns to Japan a hero to some, a ghost to others. But inside he remains the same soldier, loyal to the end, lost between duty and peace. As he looks out at the modern world, cars, neon lights, television, he whispers, almost to himself, "The war may have ended, but my battle never did."